Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with his good friend, Jason Pritchard. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Happy Memorial Day weekend, sir. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you for that. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for being with us every other week. It's amazing to get an hour of your time every time. So thank you.
I love
much.
it, man. I get excited, dude. I get excited thinking about this stuff. It gets the gears cranking in my brain, and it keeps me sharp too, which is really important. So I love doing this stuff.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, I thought something you and I should do is we should rap about Fresno, right? I think the real estate market is slowing down across the country, maybe with the exception of Florida. I think Florida is still going gangbusters. Yeah. But I think the real estate slowdown is real. I do think it's a bifurcated market, meaning low end versus high end. I think there's a lot of stuff going on. I looked the other day that my buy box went up 100%. It went from 500 active listings to just over 1,000 in about 5 or 6 weeks in Fresno.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing a lot of change, but you're in it a lot more frequently than I am. You live there, been there your whole life. So what's going on in the Fresno market from you, the investor, you, the agent, you, the broker?
So we're seeing definitely a slowdown, but it's here's the thing that when I'm talking with other people, or for the listeners that are watching right now, it's a slowdown from the most frenzied sellers market that we've ever seen in the history of the world, right? So it is just not normal to have a house go up, have 30 offers all over asking, get it driven up $50,000, $60,000 over asking. Like that's what reality was for the last 18 to 24 months. What we're seeing, at least on the properties that we're selling, right, is it's still, as long as the property is priced right? I think the window for shooting for the stars and listing even above anything that supports like even the top of the market from comps, I think that's gone. But if you price your property right and the house is good and it's dialed in, we're still getting activity. It's just not this frenzied activity, right? So it's not 30 offers, it's 3 or 4, right? And they're all around asking or maybe a little bit above, and we'll take those all day long. I mean, that's still for us, something that works very well. And I think, it's just going to be important, like we've talked about in some of the other videos, to tighten up on your buying criteria to make sure you didn't buy with the expectation that you were going to get some crazy offer to kind of bail you out of overpaying for a property. So I think that's what you got to be careful of.
Yeah, I think what I would kind of articulate it, certainly the last year, we've been going 100 miles an hour.
Yes.
We're probably going, 50 miles an hour now. Still pretty quick, still getting you there. Probably still faster than normal. I mean, days on market, for example, I think I remember Fresno kind of bottomed out at like 13 days on market. Today it's like 19.
Yep.
However, I've been doing this a long time. It's usually 45.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So what are we talking? But I do think it's pivoted. And I think actually the biggest thing I am seeing now, and you're in it, so you'll probably even closer, is fear of missing out, or FOMO, has clearly changed shoes. It's went from FOMO on the buyers, because so many buyers, a lot of buyers have been priced out. They got a yes answer 3 months ago from the mortgage broker. Today it's a no, or it's a not yet.
Yep.
But sellers are like, oh my God, did I miss the market? And here's a twist. I think it gets worse. I think the next 60 days, more and more sellers are fear missing out. So I expect listings to explode. I just don't know if it's wish pricing or legit numbers. And I think that will be played out over the next 60 days.
I think that's going to be a very important thing, because we already know that the wish pricing is they're not going to get their offers, and those are going to be stuck on the market.
There'll be crickets. Nobody will show up.
Yes. But I think what will be the real telltale sign, especially considering the time of year that we're in right now, this is the typical busy season that we're going into, right? For real estate, right? So this is summer season. Everybody's expected to sell. So we're going into that. The wish pricing, I think, is out the window, but let's see what happens to those properties that are priced correctly, right? Yeah. And if those start staying on the market, right, and we still can see continuing increases in just our overall inventory level, I think it's also going to be another red flag, because I think rates are going to continue to go up, right? Mm-hmm. I talked with a lender friend of mine at a networking event that I was at last week, and he said he thinks we could see mortgage rates with a 7 in front of them by the end of the year. So yeah, I mean, that in and of itself is going to scare a lot of people, right? To go from the sticker shock of, whatever it was 6 months ago, where you can get something with a 2 in front of it, or a 3 at least.
3, yeah.
Now we're 6, maybe 7, maybe, I don't know. You know what I mean? This is just secondhand information I got from him, but I trust his opinion. That's going to spook a lot of people. So
yeah, talk about affordability issues. You go from 5.5 to 7, that just takes another 20% of people out.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is crazy, but you and I share everything. One of the things that I changed probably 3 weeks ago is I've changed how I'm trying to buy, right? So for the longest time, for me anyway, speed won.
Yep.
I would only look at first day listings and I would try to be the first offer in. I try. That's all I had, right? I've now dumped that search. I don't even bother with first day listings. I now only look at things that have aged 15 days or more.
Yes.
Because I don't want to compete with the couple of, like if you have a perfect property that will pass FHA, I don't want to compete.
The owner occupant buyer is always going to be the top dollar. It's always going to be, and that's it. And as an investor, if it's just about money, you're not going to be able to compete with that. So I think it's very smart. And I think here's one of the things to talk about what you just said, not to interrupt, but you have to learn how to adapt in this business. The things that were working when I got into this business in 2014, right, are just not working anymore now, right? And so we've had to constantly pivot and adapt. And there has to be this mindset shift where, you know, just because whatever I did whenever I first got started used to work great for us, you have to like always be willing and open to doing it a different way, because this market is going to constantly change and it's going to force you to change up your buying criteria. So I think it's really cool to see you, who's been in this business forever, you know what I mean? And gone through multiple market cycles and shifts and seen everything, that you're still saying like, hey, this doesn't work anymore. Let's adapt. Right. And
yeah, absolutely. No. And again, why is that? Because again, I don't need to do it. Like people keep talking about a crash. Like I bought through Fresno's 75% crash, right? You know, 06 to 2010, right? 75%. I've done it. I don't see that happening again. Where I'm going with this is you don't have to have Fresno crash. You just need to find that one motivated seller. So let's tell you why the 15 days. And I actually might bump it up to 20 or 25 as we get through all of this. I don't want perfect properties. I don't want to compete with VA or FHA. They're always going to win. I want the properties that are just ugly enough not to go FHA. Because you and I both know there are some nice houses, because I'm a buy and hold landlord guy, that are just clean enough. They've got, you know, the 1980s colors in them or whatever, but they're clean. But there's just enough wrong that a owner occupant can't buy them, because the seller's not going to do the 7K in repairs and the buyer's not coming in with the money. I want to shop there. I want to shop with the properties maybe one street too close to the busy road, or, you know, because again, I'm looking for rental properties. I don't need the perfect house in the perfect street in the perfect area. And again, I'm going to look for discounts. I will not write an offer at list price all year. For 2 years, I was writing at list because that was what had to happen. I will, by doing this 15-day tweak, I will let all the perfect properties go away, won't play. I will not be writing an offer at list. I've actually increased my expected cash on cash or yield. I was willing to accept an 8% last year. I'm now wanting 9s or 10s because I have been through the cycle before. I'm going to fish for the motivated seller. Maybe they're willing to take a second, a smaller knot, whatever. And I'm just going to write a bunch of offers below list that are great deals, right? I'm not even doing good deals. I did lots of good deals the last 2 years. No great deals. I will not do a good deal this year.
I'm really excited because I have always told myself that if we can get good at finding deals consistently, and especially as this market has heated up, right? I started in 2014 and it was still relatively competitive then, right? But I mean, the last couple of years, I mean, everybody has come out of the woodwork, right? They're all trying to cash in on what's going on. And we've been fortunate enough where we've built some proven systems that just bring deals in consistently. We're doing 75, 80 deals a year, all buying at substantial discounts, right? So I'm really excited for the opportunities that are ahead in the future, right? And I think that most people need to understand that if we can just kind of get through whatever this kind of transitionary period is going to be, right? On the other side of that, the people that are left standing, it's going to be so much easier to pick off some of these opportunities if you're doing some of the things that you're talking about and that I'm doing. You know, if you could find deals now, gosh, man, I can't wait until they're a little bit more prevalent. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. What I've been telling people for a while now is winter is coming. I've pivoted now and saying winter's here. You need to pivot. This is first about surviving and then thriving, right? We've already changed our business. We're fast. We're not arrogant enough to say, no, it's always worked this way. We're going to keep doing it. That's how you go bust.
Yes.
You and I both know there are people in Fresno that aren't pivoting yet. and they're going to go bust.
Yeah.
And the other thing we could say about wholesalers, flippers, even buy and hold people, if you're not adjusting your business today, you're not. And then real estate agents, gosh, mortgage lenders, the whole market is going to be fundamentally different in 2 years.
Yep.
But if you can survive, set yourself up, keep doing business, keep building a reputation, keep attracting deals, right? You talked earlier in episode 2 about having sellers coming back to you because, again, you're good to deal with. You follow up, you say hi to them, all of that. You're going to be so much stronger 2 years from now, and half the competition. It won't even, Jason, it won't even be fair, the competitive advantage you have. It won't be fair in 2 years.
No, it's right now. And we've talked about this, and I'm going to say it again. Right now is the time to skill up. You have to be working on your skills and adding tools to your toolbox. That's going to be the biggest thing that I think is going to separate the people that thrive in this market and that are high performers to the ones that just get weeded out. It's the ones that they're stubborn and they're saying, I've always done it like this. This is how I've always done it, blah, 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 blah. And think about how risky that is to just have to rely on one thing. This is the one thing that I'm good at, right? And God forbid the rug gets pulled on you. And now, regardless of however long you've been in the business, you're stuck doing just that one thing. So the best advice that I could give people to really set themselves up to thrive is to be investing in learning new skills and creating some of these other ways to generate income that maybe supplement what the main thing is, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what's going to help you kind of see through this next rough patch. Cause I think it's going to get rough over the next year to 2 years for sure.
Yeah. Again, we're always open books with each other and the audience. One of the skills that I'm looking to add is something I've never done before. And that's it's a part of creative financing called Subject To.
Yes.
I believe something that will be valuable in the next couple of years is 30-year debt below 3.5. I believe there's going to be opportunities for me to leverage the one rental at a time brand, help sellers out where I could take over the property subject to legitimately. And sometimes even keep them in the property. Who knows? But I think Sub 2 is a skill I don't have, never done it, never looked at it. I think it's going to be the perfect market where I look to add a new tool to my toolbox. And I've been doing this 22 years. So I know I need to get better and I need to advance.
And it's been interesting. I don't have the data in front of me, but we have noticed just this increase because we buy a lot from trustee sales and auctions. That's become over the last 18 months, another avenue for us to get it. And we're seeing an uptick there in that space. And to piggyback off your point, those sellers, right, that are maybe running into some type of financial hardship that got their loan a couple years ago, right? They locked it in at 3%. If you can go in there and say, hey, let me just come over, we'll take over payments subject to your existing mortgage, put some cash in your pocket to help to wherever the transition is going to be to the next space. And you can keep that mortgage in place at 3%. We're not going to see anything with a 3 in front of it for a long time. You know what I mean? So there is such huge value in having that there, right? And you can bring somebody in second, maybe potentially at a higher interest rate. And because you're at 3, the number's still penciled. So There's all these different things. And so getting creative and, like I said, learning how to skill up and add these other tools to your toolbox is going to be really important. And that's going to be a big window of opportunity right there.
Awesome, Jason. Well, thank you very much for doing this. If somebody wanted to follow, reach out, see all the amazing things that you are doing. Frankly, if you're not following him on Instagram, you're making a mistake because he just puts it out there, motivates you, a lot of fun stuff. Your wife, Jennifer's awesome. You guys are amazing to watch. Thank you for all you do.
I love it, man. Yeah, thanks. If anybody needs help or wants to reach out to me, either Instagram, Facebook, Jason Pritchard, send me a DM. I'd be happy to help if I can.
Awesome, buddy. Thanks.
Thanks.